Hey guys, Kyle here. So, just before the show starts, I wanted to mention our Patreon. You can pay us $1 a month as a thank you, as a tip. You can pay $2 a month to get access to one of our bonus content shows, episodes 2 days early, and a secret Discord chat where all of our Patreon donors get to go and hang out and talk with us directly. Then there's a $5 tier that you can donate to get access to a whole bunch more content. We have multiple bonus episodes on there, so please check it out. Patreon.com/itgetsweird. We don't advertise, we don't make money, so check it out and throw us some money if you think that would be cool. Thanks. Welcome to It Gets Weird, our comedy show where we explore the unusual, the unbelievable, and the unexplained to try and make your world a little weirder. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Niall. And this week, Kyle, I just want to say there's a bit of a nip in the air. We've got the changing of the seasons. I think we're officially kind of on our way into winter at this point. I can say I think you had your first snow of the season this week.
Yep.
So I just want to know what kind of hot beverages are you looking forward to this this kind of cooler season?
Jack Frost is nipping at my toes. We're about to have walnuts roasting on some sort of chestnuts roasting on an open fire. It's getting crazy. It feels a little early, but then again, you know, the weather, the Midwest weather. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Beverage. Now that is an interesting question. I mostly drink water. You'll find water and coffee. That's sort of my daily routine. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I love hot chocolate a lot.
Hell yeah.
I have such a. It's funny. In my last living situation with my roommates, they both didn't really care about hot chocolate, and they had multiple cans of like nice hot chocolates that were given to them by family that they just didn't ever get around to. So I just had a winter where I was just drinking hot chocolate like all the time. It's I don't know, it's kind of nostalgic. I kind of love a nice, but so that's sort of the like inner child answer, if you will.
Yeah.
The true answer is cider. I love cider so much. It's incredible. Maybe a mulled cider would go like crazy this year.
Spiced cider fucking rules in the winter season. It's so fucking good. It's very underrated in terms of cool time drinks. But I gotta say, have you ever? I started keeping instant like espresso powder. So instant coffee kind of around for a specific purpose where I will add it to either some hot cocoa or I do a thing sometimes where I make like a lazy latte where I just shake oat milk and an ice and a little sweetener and instant coffee and just like drink that. But I found that's like, it was like a TikTok thing that I found. And it was like, this actually works when I'm like feeling really lazy and low effort. But I love kind of a hot cocoa with like some espresso powder in it to kind of give it a little caffeine and also a little of that coffee kick. It's really nice.
You know, I love what you're saying, but here's the thing. Here's the catch with coffee and hot chocolate mixed together, caffeine, espresso, whatever. When I worked at the old folks' home, one of the things that I would do is I would help out in the cafeteria. And a very popular beverage in the cafeteria was taking the awful coffee that they served and then taking powdered hot chocolate and mixing that into that. And I like, as I'm describing it to you right now, I can taste it. It's not good.
No,
but I would drink it.
See, the problem with that is that you're getting a weaker coffee part. So like the ratio is off for like how, because you want the coffee flavor to accent the hot chocolate, not have like weak coffee with some hot cocoa. Like that fucks up the ratio in the way that makes it bad instead of good. So
yes, I completely agree. I think that experience though, and how often I would I would drink that shit alongside the people that I was serving, mind you. Like, people would request this while I was working in the cafeteria. Chicken and egg situation, though. I don't remember whether it was me making the beverage first and they saw me make it and they're like, Kyle, you got to make us the hot chocolate coffee.
Yeah.
or if they were doing it and I was like, let me see what that's all about. Maybe these old folks know what's going on.
Maybe it'll make the coffee better.
Maybe it didn't. That's the spoiler for the whole thing. It's honestly a bad beverage and I can't recommend it. But maybe I'd be willing to try your version because that makes way more sense than what I was doing.
Yeah, it's quite nice. I got to say. I might make the I made coffee syrup for a while there to make the basically to make the like Dunka latte thing, which I really like from where they
Dunkachino.
Where you make coffee milk as the sweetener for your latte, and it rules. So I might make that and do that with some hot chocolate.
Dunkachino type beat. Well, listeners, I would recommend getting yourself a hearty beverage right now. Honestly, it might do you some good to get a caffeinated beverage if that's the kind of thing that you can get down with, to wake your physical body up. Because I think it makes sense that if you're going to wake your spiritual body up, you want your physical body to come with. And this week, we're going to do a little bit of a spiritual awakening type shit.
Now, are we talking about like an activation type thing? Kind of an opening your higher plane sectors?
Honestly, the impression that I got after doing some of this research is like, whatever the fuck you want, frankly. Like, you can pick your poison. You can basically... there was a lot of recurring words, but there is... Let's say it's transformative stuff, like transformation stuff, okay?
Okay.
So, stick with me here. August 7th, 2009. The city of Goes in the Netherlands. An enormous crop circle appears. And this wasn't just any crop circle. It was a crop circle depicting a butterfly man.
I think I've seen that crop circle.
You probably have. I
did a crop circle episode so fucking long ago. But I think I remember a butterfly man. Anyway, go ahead.
This wasn't just any butterfly man. This butterfly man was depicted in the form of Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man.
Yes.
So you've seen this.
I do know this bitch. Okay. Yeah.
That's
fantastic.
That's a very funny way to refer to a crop circle as this bitch.
Yeah. There's that meme where that I don't know. It's kind of reference. It slipped into my kind of
your vernacular
from a meme, and it made me laugh. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I completely understand. Honestly, you would do well to slip some mimetic stuff into this like that. I don't. You could go back to this bitch, or I'm trying to think of another example of like a meme sort of like. Yeah, or like you're out in the middle of a crop circle and you see a bunch of crops, or like all the corn is pushed down and fucked up, and you're like, bitch, you live like this type thing, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
So basically, what I want you to picture, listener, is the Vitruvian Man, but he's got butterfly wings and antenna and 4 arms and giant wings. These wings are also made of like a bunch of circles, and this thing is fucking huge. So here's the actual like details on how big it is. The crop circle had a width of 1,770 feet. A height of 1,500 feet, and it covered an area of approximately 60 acres. And it apparently contained 81 circles in its entirety. At one point, you could even find the human butterfly on Google Earth. I tried this, and you can't anymore. It's not there as far as I know.
Yeah, I'm sure those have been updated since 2009. I think there is a way to...
Oh, really?
Somewhere
like an archive?
To like look at... Yeah, I think... Don't quote me on this, but I think there's a way to do it.
Okay. That would be cool, because I would love to go see this on Google Earth. But here's the thing. So in October of 2010, a number of months after this crop circle appeared, 3 Dutch guys who their names are Remco Delfgauw, Manfred Kuhleman, and Twan Beesterfeld. They came forward claiming that the crop circle was their creation and that they were operating under the name, like a company name, which was XL Design, so D-SIGN, and that they had gotten together with a team of artists from XL Design to form something called Project Atlas. And this served as the banner, if you will, under which the massive crop circle project would come together. So, great. A couple months after this gigantic crop circle, a bunch of artists are like, that was us, actually, okay. And we're called Project Atlas. Now, a television documentary would follow soon after, showing behind-the-scenes footage of Project Atlas and the creation of the giant human butterfly crop circle. And, you see them working out with night vision cameras and stuff, and matting down the crops and all kinds of stuff like that. And there's, design footage of them hanging out discussing it and whatever. If you want to see it, it's out there. It's like a television documentary.
So that there is proof. Sure. Okay.
Well, you say that.
Okay. Interesting.
You think Niall's here thinking, oh, the crop circle is really cool and humans made it and everyone loved it at the end. That's what you're thinking, right? Okay, that's what you're thinking.
I figured it was going to be a short episode. I thought you were just going to do a quick hit.
We could end it here. If we don't want to talk about some of the fringe discussions surrounding this particular story, we could end the episode right now because that is the story basically. No, just kidding. The appearance of this crop circle obviously drove some people online completely nuts. Just absolutely buck wild. Mm-hmm. So there were varied reactions, but pretty much all of the reactions came from the New Age community, I found. Or where New Age would cross over with alien stuff. So varied reactions. Some were sort of even-handed about the whole thing. They basically were saying, well, okay, some humans came out and said that they made this. We had a couple months to speculate on the aliens, but even regardless of whether or not this was extraterrestrial or human in origin, we can derive meaning from it. Some were a little less even-handed about that. Basically, they're saying, if humans made this, that's cool. It's still a symbolic gesture, That's
yeah.
I saw the look on your face, and they're basically saying, we can still use this. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater with the human butterfly crop circle, okay?
Yeah, okay. I think that might be a case where the baby does just need to go out the window with the bathwater.
Maybe, I mean... it's a group of artists. I don't think they ever really explain, here's what we intended with the symbolism of the Vitruvian Butterfly Man or whatever. But I'll tell you this much. The New Age community has a lot to say about its meaning.
Yeah, I bet.
So here, first of all, I do this now where I have to double check the age of a website to make sure it isn't AI.
Yep.
Because sometimes...
Yeah, I try to exclude anything past about 2022 in my research in these days.
It's hard. It's hard searching for things online due to AI, which is really frustrating. But you're going to understand why I thought this website may have been whole cloth AI. Because, first of all, the website was butterflyinsight.com. Which is
Hell
awesome.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I wonder how much that domain was.
I don't know, but you look at it and you just are, it's images of butterflies and butterfly articles. But not like butterflies from the perspective of somebody who studies insects. You know what I mean? It was just spiritual resonance of butterflies and stuff. And I kept looking at the website and then scrolling around on the article and realizing it didn't have a date on it. And then I like went back and I was like, okay, I need to see if this website is AI because it seems like such bullshit. And I can't tell anymore because that's the reality we live in. And I went to the website and it does date back to 2011.
Okay, cool.
So here's what it says. And I gotta just say, like, I'm reading a lot of the interpretation of the Vitruvian Man, Butterfly Man, crop circle stuff. And I mean, I'm eating it up. It's fantastic. So here's what they say. It's a powerful symbol and reminder for humanity. The crop circle formation symbolizes the transformation of humanity. The crop circle was found near Goes, New Zealand, or not New Zealand. Oh my God, sorry. The I think Principality of Zeeland is in the Netherlands with the city Goes. Okay. And Goes is spelled Goes, by the way. That's very important. And they say, I saw Zealand and my brain auto-completed New Zealand.
Yeah, I get that, sure.
So it says, quite interestingly, and Niall, pay the fuck attention because this is very interesting, okay?
Yeah, I bet.
The rearranged letters in the word goes gives us an anagram that forms the word egos. So think about that.
Sure. We're having fun with words already. I love it.
The transformation from caterpillar to butterfly is a metaphor for the transformation of a human being. This is symbolic of the transcending of the ego in order to move forward and evolve spiritually. Whenever I see the transcending of the ego stuff, I always think that somebody somewhere read the phrase the transcendental ego and didn't know what it meant and took it to mean we're going beyond the ego in a spiritual sense. Whatever.
Yeah.
It goes on and says that this is the biggest crop circle ever reported, and its message is loud and clear. Humans are evolving, just like the metamorphosis of a caterpillar into a butterfly. This is a theme you're going to see come back over and over and over again with these people.
Sure. Well, they are butterfly insights. I think that's kind of, pot found in kitchen. You know?
I mean, look, yeah, and look, if you're going to derive symbolism from a butterfly, this is naturally what you would come to, I think. It does, yeah. It does make sense. So they say that this spiritual evolution involves transcending the ego and all the ego bullshit, but letting go of our egos is one of the first steps towards self-realization, awakening, enlightenment, and evolution. They go on to say that Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man is an image that represents mankind's connection to nature. I suppose. The human butterfly crop circle can see the way this reads. It sounds like AI wrote it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like it also, yeah, I can see that. It also just sounds like someone who, is just free associating.
Well, yeah, this is the problem. So when you compare the writings of AI on something like this versus people in 2011 who are curating blogs about New Age spiritualism, it's a lot of vagary, and that it feels so non-specific in what it's trying to say that you're like, what the fuck are you saying?
And a lot of talking in circles, the way that a lot of AI stuff does. Like, it's vague, and it kind of keeps going to the same beat over and over, and acting like it's going to say something different, but then reiterating the thing. It's very common in this area.
This is why I was so paranoid about this website. But so it goes on and says, the human butterfly crop circle can symbolize the profound changes that humanity is undergoing on the planet at this time. In order for us to survive, we must learn to relate to nature again and to not destroy the planet. Okay. Although modern society has us more connected to each other digitally, think the internet, we are more disconnected from nature than ever before. Humanity must choose to make this transition to a higher level of awareness and relation to one another in a more meaningful way. Otherwise, we will have to undergo many trials and tribulations in order to wake us up. So that's what the crop circle was there for. And this is the even-handed take that I found. This is the one where they were like, even if humans made it, we can still say something about it. So that's nice. I generally agree. It's a nice thought. On the other hand, the more conspiracy theory-brained New Agers took the appearance of the art collective and Project Atlas as a deliberate hoax by the media. This was an attempt to cover up the origins and truth behind the Butterfly Man crop circle.
Of course. Okay. Yeah.
So
they're saying this whole thing was basically a false flag.
Yeah, well, they're saying that the butterfly crop circle is not human in origin, and they want to cover it up so people don't know that it's either aliens or something else.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So, without further ado, I found humanresonance.org and the writings of Alexander Putney.
I think I might have been on humanresonance.org
it's a
at
very
some
good
point.
website. It's very, very good. I recommend people check out humanresonance.org. It's a good one.
Donate to the .org. You know, it's doing
yes.
doing the Lord's work out there.
So this is what they say about the crop circle. So they say that on this scale, it is an intricate mandala formation. And it's also the pattern is built above downed wheat spans which lie adjacent to a stream that's feeding into an aquifer. So they take that to say that being close to water like this is a common thing that you can find, a common denominator around crop circles.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where it sort of goes in another direction that's hard to follow. But the water relationship here is a reference to the trans-dimensional capacity of water within the human body. Now we're composed of mostly water.
Sure, I understand that part.
This fact. So for some, here's the thing: they don't elaborate on what that means. I may have to read the collected works of Alexander Putney and humanresonance.org to understand that. But apparently water in the human body is transdimensional. I don't know what that means or does, but that's what he's saying.
That one would be something I would have to look into. That doesn't immediately ring a bell to me.
That to me sounds like a breadcrumb into an entire episode because I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I will say we have recently received some comments about running into phrases like the trans-dimensional capacity of water in the human body and not knowing what they mean, and people saying like you should know what that means before you talk about any of this shit. And to those people I say, come on, give us some fucking slack. We'll get there eventually. Hold out for the episode where we wait until we get to episode 500 whatever that's on the trans-dimensional capacity of water within the human body, okay?
Mhm. Yeah, we're going to do a whole thing.
We'll do a whole thing. They also mentioned that the human figure that's depicted in this crop circle, corresponding to the Vitruvian Man, it encodes the golden ratio, which is another defining feature of crop formations. They then go on to explain how across many cultures in the world, the butterfly is a symbol of cyclical transformation of human consciousness. They make mention of some ancient civilizations, so Mayan and Aztec civilizations. Apparently, this is according to them.
Yeah, sure.
They associate the butterfly with the god of cosmic fire, Xiuhtecuhtli, and they say that fire is representative of this sort of transformative element that will burn away old patterns. And basically create the path for new life. Okay. I can follow that.
Yeah, I'll take that at least as much for this. You know, I have no idea.
Here's the other thing that they'll also talk about a couple times here. They nod towards the butterfly effect, which is to say that the catalyst for change in science. The metaphor is the butterfly effect, where a butterfly's wings can flap and cause tremendous changes down the line. Now, this requires
a hurricane across the world. Yeah. Sure.
I think it's a bit of an absurd idea, personally. But
have you seen the movie The Butterfly Effect?
Well, here's the thing: there were a number of comments on a number of different blogs that all said, "Check out The Butterfly Effect." The movie, you'll really like it. There were other comments that said other interesting things too. There was somebody who was bringing up The Invisibles, the comic series.
Yeah.
Because apparently somebody in it is represented by a butterfly. And then there was a couple comments that I really liked that were they were all just links that said buy Viagra, buy cheap Viagra, stuff like that.
Oh, sure, yeah. Those are really good. You should take them up on that. It's a really good deal.
It seemed interesting.
It'll get you real hard for a long time.
Yeah. But so this butterfly effect, quote, posits that quantum shifts in weather patterns or other macro systems are affected by micro influences like the mere flapping of a butterfly's wings. So I really like that phrase just because of the idea of quantum shifts in weather patterns, whatever that actually means with what they're trying to say, but sure, whatever.
People just love to put the word quantum in front of shit.
These people love to put the word quantum in front of shit. It is
it
awesome.
Sounds important. It makes it sound smarter.
Now, they say that there was complete and total corporate media censorship of the Goes crop formation. They are afraid, according to this person, that the sort of symbolic message that can come through this crop circle is transformative for human consciousness, and corporations are afraid of that. Which I think what they're trying to say is that if we were to break away with our consciousnesses elevating, we would no longer be enslaved by the control of corporations. I think is what they're trying to say.
Because these people also generally think there's the sentiment that whether they actually believe in full-blown mind control or not, there's this kind of like you are being, all the advertising and everything is like polluting your brain basically and making you giving you all this like weight of capitalism in your brain. Although they would never say it like that, it's just the evil corporations trying to keep you
yes
from reaching your higher plane.
Yes, so that's why these corporations deployed a fake artist team under a fake company label to then go and say, "Here's a documentary about how humans created this."
Did you happen to run across anything else that XL Design has ever done?
Yeah, sort of. The problem is there is a language barrier. So here's where if we end up having Dutch listeners, they would be so fucking clutch because you can find their website on the Internet Archive. It's the only place you can actually find it. And there are photos of what are I think are supposed to be their work. But I can't read Dutch. Although I will say there is a 2008 project called Alien Sex. Let me try and explain this one for you. So it's a giant circle.
Okay.
And you see what are like three-toed alien feet, and the alien feet are kind of splayed out at like a 100 and something degree angle.
Yeah, at a power base.
Gotcha. Yeah. And then two human feet prints are like nudged up inside the alien feet prints, which I think is supposed to suggest that a human and an alien, if you were to fill in the bodies in the positions based on the feet prints, they would be fucking nasty style raw. No condom.
Yeah, it's like it's like when you get the prints of bodies on the hood of a dirty car.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it is exactly
the
that.
memory of the fornication. You know?
Yes, that's exactly what it is, Niall. Thank you. But this is with aliens and humans in crop circles. So and the
alien. I love that. It is interesting how most of the time, now there are exceptions, but aliens are the tops in these situations, unless they kidnap a man to like be the like the scion of the fucking alien to get him an alien wife. You know, like there are exceptions. I know that there are. Like we watched Love and Saucers and stuff.
Yes,
but there's a lot of like aliens being the aggressor. It's interesting.
Yeah, well, this I do think is supposed to. I mean, if this is crass, but I do believe that the crop circle's implication is that the alien is spreading its legs. So I think the suggestion here is that the human is topping the alien.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Okay.
Right? Or am I reading that wrong?
Oh, right. Yeah. No, the alien is fucking the human. Because you said feet were out, and then the ones were inside. The inside ones are
So if there's anybody, if you go to the Internet Archive and type in www.xld-sign.com, you can find a number of archival captures of this website. I can't read it, and I don't know how well, but it jives with what I saw in the documentary footage, basically.
Okay.
But again, you have to remember all of this is completely fake. According to some of the special analysts who looked at it. Here's So moving on to the next stuff that they had to say. They go back to the Fibonacci sequence, which I don't really. They can just. It's another one of those things where they can just say, "Oh, this is referencing the Fibonacci structure," and it's like, okay, but what are you talking about? Like, which part of it? It's very strange. And they do have a thing where they're like, if you want to understand the Fibonacci structure, that's like core to this thing, you have to read this book that I wrote called Tesla's Rebirth. I didn't read that shit. Someday I will. Hey, all the people right now drafting up their YouTube comment about how it's fucked up that I didn't read Tesla's Rebirth to talk about this. It's coming, okay? You're just going to have to be patient. I should clarify that one of the things that we do here is that we find a topic, we find it really fascinating, we find it spins out to a million other topics, and we get to those eventually. So if you're sitting there about to type something into the keyboard and tell me how I fucked up, save it.
It's fun. It's fun that you can tell when Kyle checked our YouTube comments.
We just got some really funny ones recently. I think I was telling you offline how we had somebody who was pissed off that we were joking before getting into the subject about reptilians. And I responded because I thought it was funny. I was like, I don't remember what I said, but they responded back with well, I have reptilian truth, so until you take that seriously, I'm not interested. And I was like, you know what? Fair enough. I can't argue with that.
We go live your reptilian truth, and we'll keep our commentary going on the podcast.
So it goes on to say that the upper arcs of the butterfly's wings match the specific contour and actual scale of infrasound standing waves.
Okay.
And the figure's antenna symbolize the human heart's reception of infrasound standing waves as the catalyst for the present transformation of human consciousness. So infrasound standing waves are literally depicted in the wings, and the antennas are a symbol for our consciousness, our receptiveness to that infrasound standing wave.
Now, do they ever define infrasound standing wave?
No.
Okay.
But just understand that infrasound standing waves are a catalyst for human consciousness transformation because they said so. Okay.
I do understand what a standing wave is, but I don't know what infrasound.
What that
would make for infrasound.
Maybe this will help. All of the arcs that form the contours of the butterfly's wings converge directly on the figure's heart chakra.
Okay.
So
sure.
Hopefully you get it now. This is my favorite part, okay? Because I can't make sense of this even a little bit, but I don't think I have the ability to make sense of this. But they said that the location of the Da Vinci butterfly crop formation in Goes, Netherlands, and they list the location that you can look up.
Mm-hmm.
It says it is 2,038 miles from Giza, or 8.18% of the Earth's mean circumference. This particular site also conforms to the infrasound standing wave global map that I derived by application of the quadratic formula.
That's some wow. This is now my favorite kind of shit.
Isn't that awesome?
Whenever we're talking about how far a thing is away from Giza, it just instantly becomes 10 times better.
Really
to me
sick
because people will take something like that and spin it so specifically to try to make it important.
Yes.
In a way that it's just fat. I love anything with a kind of quote unquote ritual significance.
Yes.
There's a lot of that. It's why I was so drawn to the like Mars jump, like the Mars face of Mars type stuff, and the all the Hoagland and all the Hoagland
sacred
bullshit.
Geometry.
Yeah. Because it just, you can bullshit it so hard, and people will just like, because no one wants to actually do the math, they will just like take it at face value, even though like if you try to break it down, it makes no fucking sense. It rules. Like, I love this stuff. Tell me how far away and what degrees you are away from the tip of the pyramid. You know?
Okay.
Give it to me.
I understand that you're kind of making fun of this, but here's the thing you have to understand. Okay, math is truth. Mathematics is truth. This is 2,038 miles from Giza, which means it is 8.18% of the Earth's mean circumference, okay? Now, if you want to see how that conforms to the infrasound standing wave global map, you can derive it from the quadratic formula. Just do that.
I don't...
Okay?
Yeah, the thing that really does stick out to me about that is that deriving it from the quadratic formula is really funny, because like there is standing waves are an actual thing in acoustics.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what this is based off of. And so he's basically talking about you tend to have standing waves in kind of at divisions of the room, like at the halfway point, the quarter point, the third point. Like, all of these things can have different frequencies accentuated due to the geometry of the room. So when you try to then extend that to a spherical planet, unless he thinks this thing's flat too, I don't know. Maybe they're tapping.
I
into
didn't
some
see
shit
that,
here.
but it wouldn't surprise me.
But if they're trying to extend that onto like a ball, you know, I don't know exactly, because standing waves are due to boundaries, and on a sphere, I guess the boundaries would be the crust of the Earth, and they'd be going across, like, you know, like it doesn't immediately make sense to me what the fuck he means about mapping the standing waves of a planet, you know?
Yeah, it makes sense to me, but that's okay. You know, we can agree to
agree to disagree. Yeah. We respect all opinions on this podcast, except no, that's actually not true.
Let's be very clear. We actually don't respect all opinions on this podcast. This is
not
one
a
of them, though,
centrist
that we
podcast.
do. This is one of the opinions that we do respect, though, which is that you can use the quadratic formula to determine the infrasound waves formation in relation to this place, to Giza. So just think about that. I have one more little thing to add that knocked my tits clean off.
Okay. Where did you pick up that phrase? Because now you use that twice in
Did
two
I?
recordings.
Oh,
yeah.
shit. I don't remember.
Okay.
I
just
probably that's sort of the mimetic phrase that I'm bringing to this episode.
All right.
You just read information and your tits are just blown straight off your chest.
This is a thing that I think is funny, that I just, you know, only people who were on the Patreon got the first uttering of that. And now I'm bringing it to the main feed.
Yeah. It's a nice phrase. You know what you get a sense of the importance of the information when you say it. Because
here's the thing, like it's a thing that Timeless Tony Storm says occasionally.
Oh, really?
But so that's where I've been hearing it recently. But you don't watch. You're not current with the product.
I'm not.
So I don't know. I don't know where you picked it up, but it's great. Go ahead.
I don't know. So here's what it says. Go ahead and clasp your tits real quick for this one, okay?
All right.
This crop circle is the work of transdimensional consciousness, which manifests in the form of plasma orbs, which use invisible beams of ultraviolet A and infrared light before the propagation of intense microwaves that heat the plants into these marvelous mandala formations. The swirling motion is created by the rotation of an anti-gravitic HHO plasma field generated for mere seconds by the plasma orbs themselves.
Okay, so we do already have, from our crop circles episode a million years ago, we did talk about how one of the theories about them is like microwave cannons and stuff, and like microwave energy and stuff being used to flatten crops.
But these are microwaves created essentially by consciousness, which produces plasma orbs.
Yeah, this is a kind of one step beyond some sort of microwave canon, where we now have an interdimensional plasma being.
Not interdimensional, transdimensional.
Sorry, transdimensional being,
which
just squirting that shit out. You know,
what would be the difference between interdimensional and transdimensional? At least in the way it gets used in these circles, because to me, transdimensional means like almost like traversing between dimensions, like transforming into different dimensions, right? Where interdimensional would also mean like the same thing. Am I stupid?
Well, so here's the thing. If you were just to cold ask me, and this is not based on anything that I actually know.
I might be stupid.
Interdimensional would be a thing from another dimension.
Okay.
Transdimensional would be existing in multiple dimensions simultaneously.
Multiple dimensions. Okay, sure. Okay. Oh, okay, that makes way more sense than the stupid thing I said.
They exist because there's a thing where beings that when we talk about like fifth and seventh dimensional, like the higher consciousness shit, they'll be like,
I see.
Archons exist on the 9th to the 3rd dimension simultaneously, and you only see them in a specific version as they fold themselves into your dimension.
Okay, that makes sense. I can't believe I'm saying that makes sense, because what they're saying is transdimensional consciousness, meaning consciousnesses that operate on multiple dimensions. So that does actually make sense if you know the history of New Age belief in spirit and consciousness.
Yeah.
Which we don't have time to get into here. So good luck.
Go check out probably, I don't know, 50 episodes, a bunch of them I've done on like starseed activation rituals and shit.
Yeah, I mean,
go check out all those.
The short and skinny is that a lot of these people believe that consciousness can be elevated to higher dimensional planes. And it requires certain things. Sometimes you have to be a starseed, which is basically an alien human hybrid who's existed on Earth for a long time. I honestly, me explaining it makes it worse, I think.
Yeah, it's trying to explain it quickly just makes you sound like a lunatic.
It's a little wild. So if you want to watch the Dutch documentary about Project Atlas, as far as I can tell, the only way to do so is a copy that is archived by a conspiracy theorist who has some interesting questions, mostly who actually made the crop circle, because it certainly wasn't humans. This conspiracy theorist's username on YouTube is LogMartians, LOGMARTIANS. And their shit's pretty weird. They insist that Dutch public broadcasting TV station, the BNN, which apparently stands for Bart's Never-Ending Network, which is what I thought the Fox network was at the height of The Simpsons' popularity. But that's just me.
I mean, they're still going.
That's true, but could we call it The Simpsons' height of popularity? I don't know.
No, I think that I think at this point it's more of a Seth MacFarlane machine.
Yeah.
Because it just keeps churning out American Dad and everything. I think, is Cleveland Show still existent?
I don't think so. I think the Cleveland Show flopped.
We lost a soldier.
Yep. Niall saluted. I'm saluting as well. So the BNN is in on a conspiracy to cover up the Butterfly Man crop circle's true creators. It's not always clear what this person's trying to show you with their stuff, but it's exactly what you think is. It's like footage that they've taken and overlaid text onto, and they play like throwback cheap techno music over it. And basically what they say is the documentary is a fake, XL Design is a fake company, and there's no proof of legitimacy in any of this. Mm-hmm. And they'll say things like, oh, there's no way to contact them. Well, if you go to the archive, they have an email submission thing, and that was there. They claim that there's no. Here's where it's like we would need somebody like a Dutch person to check this for us somehow, because they claim that there is no record of the company XL Design in the Dutch Chamber of Commerce, so you can't.
Okay.
They don't exist, is what they're trying to say.
I feel like, this is just me, but I feel like if this were a cover up on some massive scale, they would have forged documents in the fucking government, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you'd think that, but the thing is, these shady actors think that the population is so stupid and under their thumb that they wouldn't to check the Chamber of Commerce.
They debated even for a couple days whether or not they would make a website. You know?
Yeah.
They were like, do we even need one of those? We'll just say we have one.
They were like, we really got to do this like big crop circle hoax thing because people have been paying way too attention to the Butterfly Man stuff, and that's like super important for consciousness, and we can't have that for the populace. And then we got to
make people not realize how powerful this Butterfly Man crop circle is in terms of awakening their next level of evolution.
Yeah, and then Bjergsen goes, "I'll make the website."
Yeah. So... I have a fucking Squarespace account. I'll take care of it.
Oh, you know how to make websites. I dabble in HTML and CSS. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I found another really absurd website called viewzone.com. There's a little extra conspiracy commentary that they've thrown in the ring here with the human butterfly. It's so this is a post that is a copy paste from another blog. And the other blog they're copying from is just called Mayan Prophecy 2012.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
But here's the point. The thing that they get into is that this is all a part of synchronicity.
Yes.
They say that the caterpillar to butterfly transformation was blogged about right before the appearance of the crop circle, and that the exact same thing happened with a dragonfly crop circle that appeared in England recently. And by recently, I mean back in 2009. They basically said that the blogger had been discussing dragonflies with a friend the day before the appearance of the dragonfly crop circle, and this is all synchronous. And that's mostly what they say. They reference, this is again where they kind of lose me, because they reference a guy called Greg Braden, and I looked him up, and he's on like Gaia.com and stuff. Not Gaia TV, Gaia.com.
Oh, okay.
Which is sort of like Gaia TV, but it's the same content, basically. Now, here's a weird thing that happened to me when I looked into this. I went and checked out one of the websites that Greg Braden has information on. And I very briefly thought that it infected my computer with a virus somehow.
Okay.
The website is called Psychedelic Adventure. And when I was researching this episode, I had gone into the Psychedelic Adventure website, and I started poking around, and then I suddenly realized that on my taskbar of my computer, of my PC, was just a little tiny icon for Psychedelic Adventure.
Okay.
And it was in my recently installed, like my recently used applications, like bar.
Okay.
And then I went and looked at the file, and I think what it was is it was actually just somehow like the web app was downloaded. I don't know what it was, but when I tell you I'm extremely thorough about checking these things to make sure I didn't just somehow infect my computer with Psychedelic Adventure virus stuff, I was extremely thorough, and this was not actually it wasn't like a malicious thing. But I genuinely have no clue how it got there, because I didn't download anything from the site.
That's fucked up. Okay.
It was very weird. So, warning if you look into this and find Psychedelic Adventure, because it did something very weird on my computer, and I don't know how. I must have clicked something, but I must have clicked like a link to another part of the page, and it did something weird. So that was odd. I've never had that issue before.
That's a new one. All right.
But here's the thing. Greg Braden, his whole thing is the holographic universe. And we're going to have to talk about the holographic universe as an episode, because I don't quite understand it. Again, this is another one of those points where it's like, here's some breadcrumbs that we can pick up and do full episodes on later, because here's what he said about the holographic universe. A hologram is a pattern that is whole and complete unto itself, and, at the same time, it is part of an even greater pattern that is whole and complete unto itself, while at the same time is part of an even greater pattern, ad infinitum. And here's the staggering part. The beauty of the hologram is that any place in the pattern of a hologram where you make one little change, that change is mirrored throughout the rest of the hologram. So
sure,
they take this
that makes
quote,
perfect sense.
And on the Mayan Prophecy 2012 blog, which I'm saying that because that's the name of the blog, but Mayan Prophecy 2012 actually has nothing to do with this story. It's irrelevant for the most part, unless like I kept thinking like, oh, maybe they'll bring up the apocalyptic 2012 predictions from the Mayan calendar stuff in here and relate it back and just be like, oh, it's another paradigm shift and whatever. But I didn't see that anywhere. They were just like, here's a nice post about the Butterfly Man crop circle. So this blog takes this concept and relates it back to the butterfly effect. And they don't say anything explicitly that my mind can actually latch onto, but what I think they're suggesting is the synchronicity of concepts, that the universe itself operates on the butterfly effect principle because it is a holographic universe.
Okay.
So what I think is all implied or remains very much unspoken in all this is that the Butterfly Man crop circle may be a manifestation of this universal pattern in our physical reality in the form of the crop circle. And they end this entire thing by showing NASA photos of the Butterfly Nebula, a celestial object in the shape of a butterfly. So
yeah. I like the tone of that being a reveal. The Butterfly Nebula, which is in the shape of
a butterfly. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
butterflies are this is one of those places where I could go off on a whole thing about how, like, you know, these patterns they're supposedly finding. It's just butterflies are a thing that have been around forever, so people have used the imagery for various things, and thus those things will occasionally have these kind of patterns or synchronicities to them that don't really mean anything. It's just the chaos of living in a full universe and a million little choices being made. It's the butterfly effect. I'm just explaining the fucking butterfly effect in reality.
But the thing is, like, if you take like when we attach symbolic meaning to a thing, like a butterfly, it's just our way of trying to do some meaning making to contend with reality, right? Like, we can talk about, you know, the scientific, you know, mathematical whatever, but that doesn't impart meaning, you know, like, so like, and I'm about to get into a story that I think exemplifies this. So, anyways, put a pin in that. We're about to get to it. This crop circle thing absolutely freaks the gourd of the online New Age movement around 2009 to 2010. Lots of people talking about it. Saw an unbelievable amount of comments on YouTube and various blogs. People would be just loudly posting, don't believe the lies of the Dutch media. What we're seeing is, you know, not human-made. They also insist there's no possible way a human can make this. Classic stuff.
Hedgehogs can.
That's true. That's true. I forgot hedgehogs are one of the culprits. So this all seems incredibly silly and absurd, right? There's nothing to suggest some cosmic or extraterrestrial force or something could have made a Butterfly Man crop circle right here on Earth, right?
Right.
Well,
exactly.
I hope you're prepared to feel stupid, Niall. Okay? Because in 2011, we had a massive reality-shifting Butterfly Man event. And I don't want to make light of it, but I do think that it is illustrative of what we were just talking about. And unfortunately, the story begins with tragedy.
Okay.
This is the story that led me to everything you've just heard. And it was on a cryptid website.
Interesting.
So on May 22nd, 2011, a devastating EF5 tornado touched down in Joplin, Missouri. This was a huge deal. 161 people are killed, and it just destroys tons of homes. I think it was something like 900 homes are destroyed, stores are destroyed. It was extremely destructive.
God damn. Okay.
And I have an article that I dipped into by Todd Frankel for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, okay? And here's what it says. The tornado unleashed stories about death and unlikely survival. A teenager sucked from an SUV, a toddler plucked from his mother's arms, houses that exploded in 200-mile-per-hour winds as families huddled in bathtubs and closets. For months, just about any place people gathered, the stories spilled out, including stories about the butterfly people.
Okay, and what are these butterfly people, if I might ask?
Yeah, here, let me tell you some of these stories. In one, a mother and daughter fled their vehicle as the tornado neared. The girl is 3 years old. In some versions, she is 4. They have no time to reach a nearby house. The mother and daughter hit the ground. The mother covers her child. Sometimes they jumped into a culvert. Other times into a front yard. The mother watches as the winds hurtle her car toward them. She braces for the impact. The tornado passes. They are not hurt. The mother is astonished. Weren't they pretty, the daughter asks. The mom is confused. Didn't you see the butterfly people, the daughter says. In some versions, the daughter describes seeing the butterfly people also ferrying men and women into the sky. The other story involves a father or grandfather and 2 young boys. They are also trapped outside during the tornado. In most tellings, the winds are so strong the soles of the father's shoes are ripped off, but no one is hurt. Again, it is the young boys, usually described as 3 or 4 years old, who saw butterfly people hovering above them, offering protection.
Okay.
So it turns out that in the wake of this horrible disaster, a bunch of stories of butterfly people and butterflies in general would begin pouring out from the local children. One story talks about this 14-year-old cheerleader girl whose leg is badly injured in the storm, and she claims that during her recuperation that summer, when all her stuff's being healed, butterflies would keep landing on her. She couldn't get them away from her; they would just keep coming to her. Mm-hmm. Another young boy who was 5 years old at the time claims to have seen a brown-haired man in the wreckage of his trailer. And then in another story, a girl around the age of 10 suffered life-threatening injuries when the tornado struck. She was thrown in a vehicle 300 feet and pinned inside it. And an inch-wide metal rod came through the roof of the truck and went through her shoulder and exited out the side of her body. And this girl supposedly recalled seeing that there were these butterfly creatures walking around in the streets when she came to in the car in the wreckage, and the tornado had passed, and she remembers feeling a touch on her shoulder and thought it was her cousin, and when she turned around to look, she saw 2 angels in white robes, one with dark hair and one with blonde. So basically, one thing tends to connect the stories of the butterfly people in Joplin that day. They may have been guardian angels. This is very grim, but the boy who saw the brown-haired man, the article talks about how some people interpret his story as evidence of a divine presence, an angel, a protector angel. The mother of the young boy was afraid that what he had actually witnessed was the body of their next-door neighbor. So in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch article, it talks about how school therapists and psychologists heard these stories. And the general interpretation of these butterfly events was that the kids used these stories to make sense of the tragedy. Why some people lived and some didn't. Why some people didn't survive. There's no way to control a tornado and its destruction in a community that is in the middle of the Bible Belt, very Christian. Butterfly people as angels is a way to understand this lack of control over the reality of the disaster and death. It's also pointed out how these stories spread and transformed as they got told over and over, with small details changing occasionally. Some versions of the story were this way, others were another way. So it's hard to get a hold of, the original story that was related to some adults by a 4-year-old, and it transformed, and more stories came out as stories came out,
Yeah. Okay. So there is a very that makes sense to me, the fact that this would be because all these sightings most of these sightings were kids. There's one you said was 14 or something.
Yes, yeah.
But the younger ones especially, it makes sense that there'd be this kind of trying to make sense of
Yeah.
a senseless tragedy kind of thing. Sure.
And here's the thing: the 14-year-old, I think, is one of the ones who explicitly says that was my guardian angel.
Yeah.
Whereas
so
the children,
there you already have a belief system in
yes,
nature.
exactly. Whereas the children are all saying, I think they were butterfly people carrying people to heaven. So okay. Like I realize it's grim, but I think it is a good illustration of things. And the story ends in an interesting way. So we have an artist named Darlene DJ Bates. And the interaction between her and the other artist who are about to do this project is interesting to me. So Bates rallied around the Butterfly People stories. There was a plan for a mural project that summer for the town of Joplin. And this was directed by another artist named Dave Lowenstein. And Lowenstein had not heard these stories of the Butterfly People, but Bates had, and she was adamant about making it a theme of the mural. And here's what it says in the article. Lowenstein was doubtful about including Butterfly People in the mural, but he and others at the city's Spiva Center for the Arts, which helped coordinate the project, did choose a butterfly theme. Big, colorful butterflies flutter across the scene, while two small angels can be seen, too. Lowenstein said the butterflies represented metamorphosis, how the city is being reborn. The mural was titled The Butterfly Effect, to represent how the mural could inspire others to do good works. It has nothing to do with butterfly people, he said. We don't want our notion of butterflies pigeonholed by that story, Lowenstein said. So they create a mural, and every single element of what I just talked about in these New Age conspiracy blogs about the media lying to you about this butterfly Vitruvian Man crop circle, every single element's there in their artistic interpretation of how to heal the town of Joplin after children talked about butterfly men saving them from the tornado. That is the conclusion of all of this.
Jesus. Okay. Wow, that was a
and this literally all of this came the origin, the things that led me to everything I just described is by me initially finding the Cryptids Wiki article on the Butterfly People, who are now folkloric canon butterfly men cryptids.
Yeah.
Even though if you look into it,
it's not it at all.
Isn't this shit fucking awesome? Isn't this awesome? I fucking love this. This was wild. This was a podcast career affirming story for me. I was so stoked when I read all this.
You should be. This has been a hell of a journey, I gotta say.
Yeah.
I was not expecting to end up here.
Honestly, me neither. But here we are. So, was the New Age community onto something? Did the human butterfly crop circle signal the presence of a cosmic or extraterrestrial or spiritual protector in the form of butterflies? Or are we just myth-making to make reality make some sense?
Yeah. Some would say the children and the conspiracy theorists are doing a very similar thing.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. So Niall, those are the Butterfly People.
Hell yeah, that's a new one for me. I'm glad. Like, I remember reading about the holographic universe thing, and I think that is a thing we definitely should cover pretty soon. But I definitely, and I've technically seen this crop circle, but everything else in this episode was fucking a real roller coaster ride. I gotta say.
And here's the thing about like the holographic universe is I think it has some theoretical conceptual reality to it, but it gets used by the Gaia New Age types very often to say things that don't make sense, like water is a trans-dimensional property of the human body. So, but I do want to talk about it. It's kind of like, remember when I went on that sort of deranged sounding explanation of covert folklore warfare through Gaian consciousness?
Yeah.
Like even saying it out loud is like so wild. But I feel the same way where like I would have to learn what the fuck the holographic theory of the universe actually is to then compare it to the Gaian New Age version of it. So we'll have to get there eventually, and we probably will. So
yeah, look, this podcast has no intentions of slowing down, so we'll get there soon enough.
There. So now, are you ready for a big question?
Always.
Okay. Which humanoid insect hybrid do you think is the next in line to come to humanity's aid with the next spiritual paradigm shift?
I mean,
bonus points if it's not a mantis or a butterfly.
Oh, I wasn't going there at all. I was gonna go. It would be ironic if it was a fucking stink bug, you know?
Okay.
You want one of those stinky bad boys going, you know?
I had a very similar thought, actually.
The first two things came to mind were literally stink bug and dung beetle.
So I was gonna say dung beetle.
Okay, yeah. So I'll be the kind of aerosolized version, sure. And you can deal with the actual human remains.
So the stink bug is aerosol based. The dung beetle, I was kind of going for a positive flair here. The dung beetle is going to come and it's going to roll up all of the trash and pollution that we've polluted the physical earth with, and it's going to roll it up into a big ball and then ride that ball into the cosmos and just completely just delete the pollution problem from planet Earth. Which
and that's actually gonna make a brand new moon of some other planet. Yeah, all the garbage. The core material is going to be compressed and heated into just the mantle of a new moon.
I should say, unfortunately, it will be creating a new moon for planet Earth, and it will cause a devastating tide to destroy the entire Earth. But
the tides are going to get real wacky, guys. So everyone invest in scuba equipment and probably some sort of scuba gear. Get a couple extra tanks going, and you can ride it out.
But your stink bug counterpart is really good because the stink bug can come and handle the aerosolized particulate pollution in the air.
Yeah. Or I was going to say maybe it also could through advanced consciousness chemtrails, it could maybe offset some of the issues caused by yours, and it will keep the Earth from getting total pole shifted from waves. Like a
big consciousness elevating cosmic stink bug fart over the planet.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be real stinky for a couple days, but it will terraform the Earth to the new level that we need it to be to survive.
And then a small subsection of humanity is gonna smell that and be like, "Ooh, something smells good."
And we support a whole new fetish will be unleashed there, and it's different from actual fart sniffing.
Yeah,
it's cosmic stink bug farts.
After the cosmic stink bug fart incident, these people will be chasing the high from that smell for the rest of their lives, unfortunately, and science on Earth can replicate it.
This might be a dumb question, but I guess there's no such thing. Yeah. Are there people who are into animal farts the way there are people into human farts?
There's one dumb question, and you found it.
Fair enough.
I don't want to answer that. I don't want to answer that one.
Yeah, that's a tag that I haven't looked up on AO3.
Oh fuck. Well, Niall, any final thoughts on the Butterfly Man crop circle extravaganza from 2009 to 2000? The Butterfly People, I should say.
Yeah. No, I think honestly my final thought is just someone should try to make a bigger crop circle, you know?
Yeah.
I think there's a record now and we can beat that. So everyone get your microwave cannons ready, and we're going to, through Flash Mob, going to create the world's largest crop circle.
Who can devastate the most farmland? Let's find out.
I think that's really the best thing to do right now in the year of our Lord 2025.
Perfect.
Not 2015.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right.
You ready to take care of some business?
Yeah. Well, if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on Twitter at IGW Podcast.
You can follow us on Facebook.com/ItGetsWeirdPodcast.
And we're on all your favorite podcatchers. If you listen to podcasts somewhere, look up It Gets Weird, and we're almost certainly there.
We're on Blue Sky at It Gets Weird. Go ahead and check it out. Follow us there. Twitch.tv/ItGetsWeird. I can confirm with 100% certainty, we're bringing back the Colin and Kyle Pokemon Fire Red Nuzlocke stream. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. Just go check it out. Twitch.tv/ItGetsWeird. It's going to be fun. We're bringing it back. We're finally coming back. It's been a busy month, and then I'm sure Thanksgiving and Christmas won't help, but we're gonna try. Okay, email us itgetsweirdpodcast@gmail.com. Do you have a cool story? Do you have a consciousness elevating tale to put in our inbox? If you do, we might read it on the show. Let us know how we should address you, and just shoot us your best UFO, cryptid, whatever, paranormal story, and it might end up on the show. Let us know how we should address you. That's all we ask. And send us some cool stuff. We love getting your emails. We devour them voraciously. But if you really want to support us, and I know you do, check out patreon.com/itgetsweird. We have a $1 tier, a $2 tier, and a $5 tier. The $1 tier is the tip tier. You're saying, hey, thanks for doing what you do. Here's $1 to my favorite podcast about the world of weird. But if you want bonus content, there's a $2 tier and the $5 tier. At the $2 tier, we have It Gets Weird TV, where every other week, Niall and I talk about weird television. We are in the middle of X-Files Season 3. Some of my personal favorites of the series, and it's a lot of fun to talk about. And then people who donate get to vote on what show we watch and talk about next. So check it out. That's the $2 tier. At the $5 tier, you get another bonus show in the off weeks of It Gets Weird TV called World of Weird, where Niall and I talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. And you love to listen to it. Okay? So $5 tier, most bang for your buck. There's a huge archive of content, years of content on there. You're going to be listening to podcasts for weeks and weeks if you just do it nonstop. If you do it periodically, you'll be occupied for a while. So donate to patreon.com/itgetsweird. Whether you donate to the $2 tier or the $5 tier, you get access to the main show 2 days early on Friday instead of Sunday, and you get access to the Discord where we're hanging out, chatting with our listeners just like you about all kinds of stuff in the world of weird. Bigfoot, aliens, whatever. It's a good time. We got a lot of cool listeners. It's a great community. Check it out. However, if times are tough, if money's tight, we totally understand. Tell some friends, tell some family members who might be interested in our show. We spread by word of mouth. That's what we do. We don't advertise the show anywhere, really. So do us a favor and let people know we exist. So tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your congressman all about It Gets Weird podcast.
All right. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for your continued support of the show. This has been It Gets Weird, and I've been Niall.
And I'm Kyle, signing out.